9 hours. That's how long I drove to be humiliated in front of everyone I once called family. I left at sunrise, thinking maybe this time would be different. The past few weeks had been a grind, long hours, budget cuts at work, my car running hot every 20 miles. But I told myself, family matters. Show up. Be present. I hadn't seen them in months. Dad was turning 60, and there was a big dinner planned. They told me to come if I could. No pressure, but everyone will be there. So I made the trip. The moment I pulled into the driveway, I knew something was off. No one greeted me. No wave from the porch. No smile through the window. I knocked, waited, then opened the door and walked into a wall of silence. Dad sat in his recliner, scrolling through a tablet. He glanced up. Look who finally decided to show up. I gave a tired smile. Hey, Dad. Long drive. Traffic was brutal. He grunted. Mom was in the kitchen, stirring something. She didn't even look up. My brother, Carson, was on the couch, thumbs flying across his phone screen. You smell like gas station coffee, he muttered without looking. I tried not to let it sting. Dinner was worse. The table was full, aunts, cousins, neighbors I barely recognized. I found a seat at the end. No one asked about my drive. No one even noticed I hadn't eaten all day. Halfway through the meal, Dad stood up, glass in hand. He gave a rambling toast about legacy, hard work, men who carry the family name with honor. Then he looked straight at me. And some, he said loudly, who waste our time and bring nothing but shame. Silence. You want to show your face here, fine. But don't pretend like you belong. You're a disappointment, son. Always have been. Maybe next time, do us a favor and stay gone. A few people chuckled. Most just looked down. I didn't speak. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I stood up, walked out the front door, and drove until I found a gas station on the edge of town. That night, I slept in my car, wrapped in a hoodie that still smelled like sawdust from my last project. The stars were clear. The silence hurt. But something inside me had started to shift. They didn't break me. They released me. I woke to the hiss of a nearby pump and the soft clink of a soda bottle hitting a vending machine. Morning sunlight bled through the fogged windshield, warming my face. I'd barely slept, but my mind was sharp in a way it hadn't been in years. There was a message from Mom. Hope you got some rest. Don't forget your uncle's birthday is next week. Could use your help with the slideshow? No mention of the dinner. No mention of what Dad said. Like none of it happened. I stared at the screen, then laughed. Not bitter, just baffled. That's what it was to them. I wasn't a son. I was a tool. The tech guy. The quiet one who fixed things, fetched things, made sure the Wi-Fi worked during family movie nights. Even now, after being humiliated in front of a room full of people, I was still expected to show up and serve. Still the family's backup plan. Something hardened in me. Not anger. Not yet. Clarity. Why was I trying so hard to be part of something that didn't want me? I drove back to my apartment in silence. No music. No podcasts. Just the hum of the engine and the sound of my own breath. That afternoon, I sat at my desk and opened a folder labeled Family. Inside, passwords, admin accounts, streaming services, calendars, all things I'd set up, maintained, and paid for quietly over the years. One by one, I started to make changes. I didn't rage. I didn't rant. I disconnected. They wanted me gone? I was going. And they'd feel every empty space I left behind. I started with the easy things. The Netflix account under Dad's email? Gone. Hulu? Canceled. Disney Plus, Prime Video, the shared YouTube Premium Family Plan, all removed. The Apple Family Calendar? I left the group and deleted every event I had added. Then came the trickier part, the infrastructure. The Wi-Fi setup I'd configured, complete with parental controls and customized naming? I changed the passwords. The business website I'd built for Dad's contracting company, the one he bragged about but never paid for? I locked the back end and removed my access. I watched the dominoes fall in real time. First came the email from Dad, sites down. Fix it. Now. No, please. No, what happened? I didn't answer. Then Carson texted, Wi-Fi's not working. Can you check? I stared at the screen for a full minute, then deleted the message. The group chat buzzed with complaints, then questions, then silence. I muted it and walked to the kitchen. I made myself dinner, slow, deliberate, with real music playing in the background. No notifications. No calls. For the first time in years, I wasn't on standby. And it felt incredible. They didn't know it yet, but their tech safety net was gone. And all they had to do was respect me. But they didn't. So I vanished from their digital lives. Quietly. Completely. It started with a voicemail from Dad. "You're being ridiculous. Fix the site. Now. We're losing clients." Then another. "Don't let some stupid argument get in the way of your responsibilities." That word, responsibilities. Like I was still on payroll. Like I still owed them something. Mom tried a different tactic. Her voice was softer. "Honey, your father's just stressed. We need your help. You know how much we depend on you." Then came Carson. "Stop ghosting. Be an adult." I didn't answer any of them. They tried guilt. Tried shame. Even tried looping an extended family. Aunt Teresa emailed me a paragraph about forgiveness. Uncle Rob left a voicemail quoting some tired proverb about water under the bridge. But I remembered that night. I remembered the silence after Dad's toast. The way no one defended me. "You said to go." I finally texted back to Dad. So I did. The next day, I saw his truck pull up across the street from my apartment. He didn't come to the door. Just sat there for half an hour before driving off. I stood behind the curtain, watching, and I felt nothing but calm. The silence didn't last long. One morning, I woke to a dozen missed calls. The business site was still down, and Dad's biggest client had pulled out. A comment thread on the company's social page was filled with complaints, broken links, unanswered messages, a dead contact form. That afternoon, Carson posted in the family group chat, now awkwardly quiet, a link to some news site he built on a free platform. It was clunky, barely functional, full of typos. He'd clearly rushed it. "Better than nothing," he wrote. But even that didn't last. The hosting service flagged it for violations, and it was offline within a day. I watched from the outside. Not gloating. Just observing. Mom sent a text. "This is getting serious. Please. Just come for dinner. Let's talk." I didn't respond. They were unraveling. Dad started snapping at Mom in voicemails, blaming her for not raising us right. Carson stopped messaging entirely. The cracks were finally visible, and all I had done was step away. They thought I was the weakest link. Turns out, I was the glue. When the dust settled, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt light. I moved into a small apartment on the other side of town. Nothing fancy, hardwood floors, second-hand furniture, a view of the alley, but it was mine. No shouting voices. No one barging in needing me to fix something. Just quiet. I spent mornings sipping coffee without checking a single notification. I cooked meals for one, read books I hadn't touched in years, and even planted herbs in chipped ceramic pots along the windowsill. At night, I watched movies on my own account. No shared profiles. No questions about login issues. I took walks. Talked to neighbors. Met up with coworkers who, surprisingly, had always wanted to get to know me outside of work. I even made friends. Real ones. Meanwhile, through bits and pieces, forwarded emails, messages from old contacts, I heard the collapse continue. Carson's girlfriend left. Dad's reputation took a hit. Clients moved on. The digital empire they took for granted had turned to dust. Mom tried again. "Your father's not himself," she wrote. "He misses you. We all do. But I didn't miss them. Not in the way I thought I would. I missed the version of them I used to believe in, the family I thought I had. But not the reality. Not the years of being treated like an afterthought unless something needed fixing. I wasn't angry anymore. That feeling had passed. I was just done. I built them a world. They let it rot. Now I was building mine. And this one? This one was finally for me. They say the loudest silence is the one that comes after the begging stops. For weeks, their messages had been relentless, a mix of pleading, guilt, and subtle threats. Calls at midnight. Emails labeled urgent. Voicemails I never played. Then quiet. Until one last message arrived. From Dad. It wasn't a voicemail. Not a group text. Just a single-line email. "Please. Help us." I stared at it for a long time. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because, for the first time in my life, I didn't feel the need to say anything at all. They had made a choice. That night, at the table, when no one stood up, when they watched me walk away and let the door close behind me, that was their choice. And this silence? This peace? This life I was living now? That was mine. I deleted the message. That weekend, I invited a few friends over. We grilled on my tiny balcony, drank cold drinks, and played music until the neighbors tapped their ceiling in protest. I laughed more than I had in years. No one asked me to fix a router. No one called me selfish. No one made me feel like a spare part in my own story. Before bed, I took one last look at the family group chat. Still silent. still full of ghosts. I left the chat. Then I changed my number. And in the morning, I made a small sign for my apartment door. Nothing fancy. Just 5 words on a wooden plaque. Private property. No clowns allowed. It wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was closure. They wanted me gone. Now, finally, I was. And I wasn't coming back.